Hi, I'm Dr. Bernard Starr, and it's show time, with a show that's entertaining, amusing, and even funny. Unfortunately, though, the joke is on us. Welcome to the Trump Chorus Line, Parodies on an American Tragedy. A college drama club is staging a performance to parody Donald Trump and his administration. At first, they thought of a debate format, but concluded that it would require too much lying to defend the pro side. No one wanted to play that role. Instead, they decided on a Trump administration chorus line in which each student steps forward with a different parody. Here are the 4 parodies. Nancy steps forward from the chorus line and announces her parody. Donald Trump on filling and not filling domestic and international positions in the government. How many jobs? 500. Too many. And they all get paid? I can use that money for my wall. But, Mr. President, problems are flaring up all over the globe, and we need diplomats to address them. We have 32 embassies with no ambassadors. Just tell me what the issues are, and I'll come up with the answers. Remember, I'm a genius, a very stable genius. In fact, my IQ is one of the highest. And what do you need to know to deal with those shitholes? We can save a lot of money. The wall, that's more important. The bad hombres are invading. Mr. President, some of the issues are potentially explosive. It's urgent that they be defused. I'm the greatest diffuser. Just let me know what the problems are, and I'll do great defusing, really great defusing. You've never seen a greater diffuser. And if I don't have time, I'll send Jared. He'll be available in a few months after he solves the Middle East crisis, maybe even sooner. But, Mr. President, you must fill some positions immediately. We urgently need a head of the Transportation Department. Okay, Transportation Department. Yes, very important. Cars are important. I love cars. I use one on my golf courses all the time. That's not a car, sir. That's a cart, sir. Cars, it's all the same. You have to drive them. Let me think. Ivanka, didn't Uncle Otto once drive a cab? Okay, hire him. I know I can trust him. He needs a job. He hasn't worked for 6 years since he crashed his cab into a school bus. I trust him. He'll be loyal. He can't get another decent job. But tell him he can't wear shorts. And tell him not to badmouth women in public, to hold it for the locker room. He got into trouble when some people overheard him say that men were better drivers than women, and he had the proof. He said that in his last 12 collisions, 11 of them were with women drivers. Yes, Otto will be perfect, and maybe they'll stop saying I'm not filling jobs. Antron steps forward and announces his parody. Donald Trump in conversation with Adolf Hitler. Hello, Adolf. This is your friend Donald, the Donald. Just wanted to let you know you're doing a great job, a strong leader. People really respect you. And I love when the crowds go wild and shout, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil. To get those cheers, I have to fire them up with, lock her up, lock her up. I may have to steal that one from you. Hail Trump, hail Trump. What are you asking, Adolf? Oh, for sure, Americans love Germans. A great people, really great people, Germans. In fact, in my city, New York, they had some parades on 86th Street on the Upper East Side. The area is called Germantown. Lots of Germans live there, and they love you. They were proudly marching years ago with your beautiful swastika. It really stands out. Impressive. I need something like that. You know, my family comes from Germany. I think some of my family were marching with them in Germantown. I couldn't tell because so many paraders had their faces covered with white hoods. Adolf, I have to ask you something because I'm hearing things about you. Things like what the fake news says about me. We have so much fake news. Thank God we can get some honest, real news from our National Enquirer. So, Adolf, I'm hearing that you're doing funny things with Eva. Yeah, fake news. You're right. People who don't like you are making it up. Same here. They think I grab pussy just because I said it. It's just locker room talk, locker room talk. You're right, Adolf. They don't understand. Yes, I hear you. It's the same for you. Just bunker talk, bunker talk. Adolf, I'm hearing other things from the fake news. They're saying terrible things about you, these bad guys. So tell me, what's the deal with Kristallnacht? Oh, yes, the brown shirts. I heard about them. Very enthusiastic. You say some good people just got a little out of control? I understand. The same here. It's the fake news. They can't stop lying. They're hurting good people. There are good people on both sides, Adolf. Hey, Adolf, you'll clean up the broken glass, right? I love the guy. And why shouldn't I? He loves me. Maxine steps forward and announces her parody. The indictment and arrest of President Donald Trump. Wait, you can't arrest me. You have no jurisdiction over me. Yes, I see you have arrest warrants issued by the Southern District of New York, the Eastern District of Virginia, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, and more fake charges, totally fake charges. All fake charges by Democrats who hate me because I beat them. They can't accept that Mueller said no collusion, no collusion. Bad losers can't accept that I won big by more than any other president. He looks at the arrest warrants. Interesting documents, but you losers can't arrest me. Get your hands off me. Here, look at my document. Pulls some papers from his jacket pocket. Ah, you're surprised. Did you think you could outsmart me, the greatest president ever, and the man who knows more than the generals? But now you know why you can't arrest me. Yes, as you can see with your popping out eyes. The document says I just resigned the presidency, gave up my American citizenship, and that my friend Vladimir Putin, great leader, strong man, gave me Russian citizenship and appointed me Russian ambassador to the United States. I now have diplomatic immunity, so take your hands off me. I can have you arrested for roughing up a foreign diplomat. So low IQ loser, das vidanya, and get the hell out of here. As the officer leaves, Trump shouts, and if you have another one of those phony arrest warrants and are heading over to arrest my sweet, brilliant son, Donny Boy Jr., don't bother. He's now a citizen of North Korea and the North Korean ambassador to Russia. Yes, dumbbells, diplomatic immunity. I love that guy in North Korea, and he loves me. What did you say? Yes, it's true. I take my food taster with me when I dine with Kim. But it's just a friendly gesture so his food taster has someone to relate to. But I trust Rocket Man 100%. I love the guy and he loves me. Of course I believe what he says. He tells me things strongly. Why shouldn't I believe him? You know, there are lots of bad dudes who don't like great people like me and Kim and Vladdy. And I love North Korea. Great place, no fake news. They solved that problem smartly by getting rid of those enemies of the people, the fake press. Everything works 100% better with no fake press. Michael steps forward and presents his parody. Donald Trump after the presidency. It's the year 2021. Trump was soundly defeated by his Democratic opponent in 2020. His base bitterly complained that he lost because 11 days before the election, 10 years of Trump's tax returns mysteriously appeared on the Internet. In a white rage at the disclosure, he demanded that the IRS find and jail the leaker. Why don't they leak Hillary's 30,000 emails and Obama's Kenyan birth certificate, he ranted, and imperiously proclaimed that his personal finances were no business of the public, just as he previously insisted that his secret meeting with America's adversary, Vladimir Putin, was none of the public's business. To no one's surprise, except the brain-addled, devoted Trump sycophants, the tax returns show that in addition to not paying any taxes, or making significant contributions to charities, he was so over-leveraged and had so many business failures with losses of more than $1 billion that far from being a billionaire or even a millionaire, he was technically bankrupt. In recent years, he kept afloat and eventually refilled his coffers by capitalizing on the prestige of the presidency for marketing the family businesses. His White House became a cash cow replica of the shopping network. Oligarchs, lobbyists, and other deal makers inside and outside of governments eagerly paid jacked-up fees at Mar-a-Lago and for stays at the Washington, D.C. Trump Hotel with the expectation of getting access to the president. After leaving the White House on January 20th, Trump is shunned by the media. Even Fox News ignores him. Then the unexpected happens. The publication of 2 books authored by highly respected historians ignites outrage and shame. The first book, Comatose or Crazy? The Strange Era of Republican Lapdogs, It unleashes a wave of backpedaling among Republicans. The second book, The Aphrodisiac of Power, How a Gang of Congressional and Administrative Deplorables Trashed the Constitution, Fractured Democracy, and Destroyed America's Standing in the World. It whips up a worldwide reaction with the foreign press and governments. In the United States, these best-selling books became required reading in a broad range of disciplines, including law, economics, history, political science, sociology, and psychiatry. Each one is translated into dozens of languages. The American Psychological Association establishes an annual 2-week summer symposium to explore the myriad of baffling issues raised by the 2 volumes. The theme of the upcoming symposium is The Psychological Pathology of the Sycophants. The final session will be televised with the expectation of 25 million worldwide viewers. The American Psychiatric Association continues to remain silent, maintaining that psychiatrists can't say anything about individuals, no matter how dangerous they may be, unless they stop by for an office visit. But others do speak out. A cottage industry is launched of filmmakers, writers, entertainers, and academics who produce streams of parodies, in-depth studies, comedies, dramas, and television series about the circus administration of Trump and Company. With Trump's base in retreat, the supporter sycophants are relentlessly confronted with their condemnations of Trump before he became the Republican candidate in 2016. Pathological liar, lacking morality, crazy, unfit for the office, and worse. The media wastes no time pointing out that after Trump became the candidate, these sycophants immediately rushed to back him, praise him, hand him the nuclear code, all along failing to condemn or even acknowledge his unstable behavior. Some politicians try to rewrite their biographies, claiming that although they appeared to support Trump, they were actually patriots committed to controlling his dangerous excesses. But they are laughed at as reams of film footage and audio interviews scream otherwise. After polls show a huge dropout of young Christians from organized religion, evangelicals also try to walk back their hypocritical endorsement of Trump by claiming he tricked them. They now condemn his lying and moral depravity. While the evangelicals find God again, no one can find the former fierce supporters of Trump. They go into hiding to avoid brutal questioning by news organizations, pundits, and outraged citizens. Even when they travel abroad, they are hounded and must go on the run. At home in the U.S., Donald becomes an outcast. His name is removed from buildings. No one wants to be associated with Trump. Relatives change their last names. So many individuals and organizations shun his golf courses and hotels that he is forced to sell them at bargain basement prices. No oligarch rescuers show up for the fire sales, only vulture capitalists. Stephanie steps forward to complete the parody on Trump's post-presidency. Trump then retreats to the one property he retained, Mar-a-Lago, also in decline after he leaves the White House. The high-end crowd abandons him, and Mar-a-Lago now only draws crowds of tourists from cruise ships docked in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. It's especially popular with tourists from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. To help protect his privacy and security, and to discourage Mexicans from entering a dangerous place, Mexico generously offers to pay for a wall around Mar-a-Lago. Then, always on the alert for an opportunity to make a quick buck, no matter how grimy, Trump shrewdly converts Mar-a-Lago into a different high-end enterprise, a business right up his alley, a business made possible by a new law. In 2021, Florida legalizes prostitution, as in Nevada. Trump promptly turns Mar-a-Lago into a luxury brothel. He brags that Mar-a-Lago will be the biggest and best whorehouse on the planet. The brothel gives Ivanka a most welcome new retail opportunity after the sharp decline of her businesses following her father's defeat. She sees a chance for a clean start with a line of sex toys. But her biggest seller, Trump condoms, is advertised as the ultimate stimulus package. His golf course is no longer the playground of the rich and superstar golfers, becomes an attraction for a new clientele. Trump launches a successful advertising campaign in the failing New York Times. He chooses the New York Times because, as he well knows, it is anything but failing, enjoying one of the largest circulation of newspapers in the United States, and has a worldwide outreach. Its subscribership and profitability are reaching new highs. The Times ad goes viral on social media, making additional advertising unnecessary. The ad says, "Come to Mar-a-Lago and score birdies with your putts on the greens and a hole-in-one with your putts in the playhouse." The Trump brothel has a 6-month waiting list. Okay, folks, that's curtains for Donald Trump and the chorus line.